Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Fighter Heart podcast. Today, we have another Roundtable of Resilience podcast, and we have Emily, Aspen, and Taylor. Thanks for taking the time, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, before we get started, I'd also just like to mention that everyone out there, Fighter Heart is a nonprofit, and we actually set up a Zephy account so that people can donate directly to help us share more powerful stories from people around the world. We're already halfway past our mark toward our first fundraising goal. So you can find the donation link on our website or through the links in our social media bios. But without further ado, let's get started. If you guys could give us some refreshers just about, your story, your Fighter Heart stories, and then we'll take it from there. Can we start with Aspen?
Yeah, so my name is Aspen. I run accessibility with Aspen Sage. I was medication injured in September 2021, resulting in paralysis as well as a long list of other chronic illnesses. I have seizures, chronic pain. Um, Honestly, that's just a short brief of me and what I've been through, but this all kind of started from a medication, and so I'm a very rare story when it comes to that. You don't hear a lot about medication injury, but it really is a thing, and I'm coming up on almost 4 years, and so that's crazy, honestly. It's just crazy that it's been that long because it feels like it was just yesterday, but then again, it feels like it's been longer than that as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Taylor, how about you go?
Hi, I'm Taylor. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so it's a condition that affects my whole body, all body systems, and I've had it since birth. It's genetic, and so I have always lived being chronically ill and have always lived having to adapt and advocate and accommodate myself. And so I have used my journey and experience to kind of get into disability advocacy. And now I'm actually a researcher studying Ehlers-Danlos syndrome as well. So, um, yeah, that's kind of me and where I'm at now.
Were you born with it?
I was, yeah.
All right, Emily, can you give us your little rundown?
Yes, I'm Emily. So I'm a bone cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer called Ewing sarcoma when I was about 12 years old. Went through a year of chemotherapy treatments, multiple surgeries to remove the tumor. Ultimately, after a year of surgeries and treatment, I was declared cancer free and have been ever since, which I'm very fortunate and lucky to say. And then a few short years after ringing the bell, I found wheelchair basketball and really started to excel at that. And I am now a Paralympian silver medalist from the Paris Paralympics. So super, super exciting.
So cool. Everyone has a little different of I mean, very different of a story.
Mhm.
Um, so I have a few questions that we're gonna go through. I want people to go back and listen to each individual interview to get, the full breakdown on everyone. But have you guys had any one specific day that sticks out in your mind that was like a pivotal day in, building who you are today?
I can
Anyone?
go.
Yeah, if you got one, Aspen. Yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, I think the day that I was matched with my service dog was just the day that gave me so much hope again. I think I went about I got her in 2023, and so it was less than 2 years of being injured, but I think having her and knowing that, oh wow, like I'm not going to have to go through all of this alone. Like I've been very fortunate to have an amazing support system, but having my service dog and knowing that she was going to be there with me through everything, all of the hard appointments, all the hard days, the therapy, it was just knowing that I would have her as my best friend to go through all of that with, that was really pivotal for me.
Awesome. How long have you had the dog?
So I got her in May 2023, so just over 2 years now.
What kind of dog?
She's a lab golden retriever
Oh,
cross.
nice. Best friend.
Absolutely. We do everything together.
They eat everything though, right?
She's pretty well trained, but she is very food motivated, so she lives for those treats that she gets.
No, my friend had one. They would eat like the chairs, tennis balls, anything they could, gravel, anything.
I believe it. Luckily,
Yeah.
she's not one of those.
Good. You're lucky. Anyone else have this pivotal day? Something, maybe a specific event that sticks out in your journey?
Yeah, I can go. I would just say the day I tried wheelchair basketball for the first time, and I know that's so cliche, but I think sports just in general have like opened up so many doors and it gives you so much confidence and like just a way to embrace kind of your differences and talents. But kind of before I started wheelchair basketball, I was kind of struggling to embrace my newfound disability and just trying to be a normal teenager and fitting in. And once I found wheelchair basketball, I didn't want to do it at first just because, nobody plays wheelchair basketball that I knew. It was so different and just trying to be fit in. And it just gave me this huge opportunity. It gave me a space to talk about my disability and just be able to meet people like me who have similar stories and even, go on this podcast and talk to others with, disability stories and advocacy. So it's really changed my life for the better. And I just really encourage everybody to kind of find their niche.
So something totally just clicked in you and you play. What is it like? You sat down and got on the court the first time and you were like, this is it?
Yeah, it wasn't even me trying it was me seeing it for the first time, just because prior to cancer, I was a pretty active teenager. And then I thought that was all lost. I thought I could never play sports again. Doing what I love was out the door. And seeing wheelchair basketball just really like brought that passion back. And it was awesome. And I literally haven't stopped since.
Yeah, I haven't looked back. That's awesome.
Mhm.
How about you, Taylor? What do you got for us?
I would say maybe the day in college. I think I was going into my junior year of college, and I kind of decided to like change my education course to focus on going more of a medical route. Either like at the time I wanted to go to medical school, so I kind of basically changed my course to pre-med, and had decided that I wanted to go into some sort of medical field and eventually go into a graduate program, to then serve patients like me, because I had had a lot of really good providers and doctors, but I've also had a lot of bad ones, and so I wanted to kind of be one that gives back to patients like me and is a resource, for people going through a similar journey that I've been through. So yeah, from that day, I then completed my bachelor's degree to have, fulfill all of the prerequisites for graduate programs for PA medical school, which then ultimately gave me the background to be able to be in the role at my job that I am now. So I haven't gone into a graduate program yet. I'm still getting experience and stuff, but it definitely set me up to be able to feel like that goal is actually achievable, because I kind of thought beforehand that because I was sick and because I had chronic illnesses and my body can't keep up, that I wasn't going to be able to do that. So I kind of just like made the decision one day and then stuck with it.
It's called Ehlers-Danlos, right?
Yeah.
And does it get worse or is it just maintained at this point?
Um,
Or
it
can it get better?
I guess it depends on the person. It's not technically a progressive disease like MS, like event like diseases like MS, that is like an actual progressive disease. But Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is typically described as more like degenerative, like as you age and you have more wear and tear on your body, then your issues can get worse. A lot of people have worsening symptoms with hormonal changes. So like when women hit menopause, then they can get worse, but some women get better, or puberty, pregnancy. There's just like a lot of different factors that
Factors.
affect people differently. So I don't know how it'll affect me as I age. I don't anticipate that it'll be like great, but yeah.
Is there medication or anything that you have to take?
No, it's
No.
just treating the symptoms and comorbidities. So it causes a lot of like overlapping co-diagnoses. So like I have a lot of other conditions that are basically caused by that one. So it's kind of just like treating those as they come up, like neck instability, then you have to treat that, or tethered cord syndrome, had to have surgery for that like kind of thing.
Yeah. So so hopefully it gets better, or you stay straight, or it goes better. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me switch up another one here. I don't think I've ever asked any of you this one. How do you guys define a fighter's heart? Like, what does that mean to you? Anyone have anything? Anyone have one? Emily, you got something?
Yeah. I guess I would more define it as like the ability to bounce back when life just throws some crazy curveballs or challenges your way. I think, unfortunately, we can't control how our body physically responds to a lot of things, but we can control, our attitude and kind of our mental side of things. And that's kind of, we describe that with resilience and adversity, and how you face that is really kind of what shows your fighter heart.
Very cool. Very good.
I can kind
Taylor?
of bounce off of what Emily said. I really just think it's your mindset. Like everyone goes through hard times. The best thing to do is not compare ourselves to others, because we all have a story. And so I think choosing how you handle a situation, whether it's an amazing opportunity or just a really bad day, I think it's all the way that you view it and how you handle that situation, and how you handle your mental health when your mental health is getting worse because of a possible physical disability. I think it's just like how you choose to grow from a bad situation.
Very good definition. Taylor, you have anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say what you choose to do with it, which is kind of like off of piggybacking off of what they both said, like, you can decide which way that you go with your life. Like if you use that to further propel yourself and uplift others in the community, and give back to people in similar situations, or if you're going to let it, kind of bring you down into this kind of limiting area of like, okay, well, I just feel like I can never live my life again, or I feel like I will never be able to, get out of the box that this has put me in, but instead choosing to kind of take what you've been given and make it your own thing, and then use inspiration from others, but also give encouragement to other people as well.
Awesome. All perfect definitions. Can't be wrong about that one. What helps you guys stay grounded when you had rough times, I guess? Even now, how do you guys stay grounded when things are hard? Anyone?
Nature. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah. Yeah, you're good.
Nature and my service dog are just the two things that I would lead with. Sometimes it's literally just going outside and breathing in the air. I was just in Colorado for a week, and just smelling the pine trees, like I just felt so at peace. And I feel like a lot of times it's really hard to feel that kind of peace when I feel like I'm living for all of the upcoming appointments. For a while, I was having 7 to 10 appointments a week, and that's a lot. Like, it's a lot to go through. And so, being in nature and then having my service dog by my side during all of those appointments, because they're not easy, whether they're going good or not, like it's a lot. And so those are two.
Yeah, nature. I mean, is there any specific, do you have any specific like mantra or prayer, routine, whatever that, that, all right, I'm on the right track, like you feel good again? Or it's just to go out, go in the trees, go for a hike?
Yeah, it's mostly just like breathing in the air and like absorbing my surroundings, like being more aware of what I see. Like, do I see pine trees? Do I see or hear a river? Who's with me? Am I alone? Like, just that kind of thing.
Yeah, awesome. Anyone else? Taylor?
I was gonna say community and friends. I think being able to talk about my experiences with other people who understand what's going on, it helps me not feel as isolated from other people. Um, and to just be able to feel like I can like say anything or just like sit in some bad feelings and complain for a second and have the person on the other side not want to feel like they have to fix it all the time, but just be like, yeah, like I know what you're going through and that sucks. But like I'm still here with you and still gonna stick by your side. Um, so definitely like the people that I surround myself with.
Yeah, like people that'll just listen to you whenever you want to just vent or something.
Yeah.
Emily?
Yes, I agree. Family and friends are definitely the ones that keep me grounded, especially my three younger brothers. They know how to keep me humble, but also can relate, and we're all just super close, which has been awesome. And then also my teammates. I have 11 other teammates on Team USA. We've been through hell and back together. Each one of us have our own individual story, but just, having people you can lean on who can relate has been awesome.
That was one of my questions too. Are there any specific people in your lives that, like whenever you need some motivation or something, who do you talk to? So I guess that's your team right there, or you said your brothers,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, and my mom, we are basically the same person, and she's gotten me through everything. So that my dad gets annoyed when I just say my mom, but my dad too.
Yeah. Aspen.
I would definitely say my parents and my sisters. I have two older sisters, and unfortunately, they don't live nearby, but I do feel like no matter what, like they've dropped everything and hopped on a flight to be here for me. And I just their support and my parents' support, like I would not be here today if it wasn't for them and all the ways they've been there, whether I need to cry or scream or if I do have something happy and exciting to share, it's my family, and I'm very grateful for them.
Awesome. Taylor.
My main person would be my husband. We've been together since we were 16, and so he has always seen me as just who I am. Like he's never seen me as like a healthy, non-disabled person. So, we've definitely like grown, and he's gone through a lot with me in those years. So, yeah, he's definitely like my main support person. And even though he's like the healthiest person ever and like never goes to the doctor, he still is able to have, empathy and understanding and meet me wherever I'm at.
That's awesome. He's close in age.
Yeah, yeah, we're the same age.
Oh, awesome. How do you think your guys' mindsets have evolved over the years? Have they become more positive? I assume you might have always been positive people, but I don't know.
Oh, I feel like I've always thought of myself as kind of like, I don't want to say like a pessimistic person, but just like a realist. And so, I think sometimes because I'm okay sitting in uncomfortable feelings for a little bit, that can be seen as pessimistic. Um, but then sometimes I get told that I'm positive, so I don't actually really know. I think it's probably just like feeling all the feelings, but I didn't recognize that I was like disabled until probably like
Go to an
going into
aquarium?
college. So my mindset definitely shifted from like just having a lot of negative self-talk and feeling really bad about myself before I recognized like the disability aspect. Like I just thought that I was lazy and out of shape and had all these things that were like inherently wrong with me. And then once I realized that, oh no, I just have chronic illness and I'm disabled and like it's like actual physical limitation, that helped shift my mindset. And a lot of that is like internalized ableism that I was told growing up too.
Mm.
But which I still like internalized ableism is a hard thing to get over. So I still have those thoughts sometimes, which is normal, but challenging them is also a good exercise as well. So
What is it? Normalized ableism? Is that what you said?
internalized.
Internalized. What can you explain?
Like I'm just like ableist towards myself. Like I wouldn't like say the same things or think the same things about other people. Like if someone was like, "Oh, I can't, participate in this activity because, my disability like is limiting." But if it was me, I'd be like, "Oh, well, you're just lazy, like buck up and do it." So
Yeah.
it's like I would only say it to myself. I don't think that about other people. So it's like I can't extend myself the same like grace and understanding that I extend to other people.
I got you. I think I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Aspen?
I will say I am a lot more positive than I used to be. When I was first injured, I was in a very bad mental space. I didn't believe in life at all, and I lost pretty much all hope that I had. I think I've shared before, I tried to end my life. I didn't feel like there was any other option. I was very negative. I could encourage other people and be positive towards others, but when it came to myself, I just didn't have it in me. And so, through my advocacy and social media and meeting other people and having the opportunity to speak and share my story, I feel like that's given me both hope and purpose. And so within that, I'm a lot more positive now. I definitely still struggle. I'm still in therapy weekly and I'm still working on a lot of things, but I am in a lot better mental space now. And I feel like I'm a lot more positive for both myself and for other people because I feel like, although I don't believe like you have to love yourself before you can love other people, I don't believe that necessarily, but I do believe that we need to show ourselves love while also showing love and care and compassion to other people as well. But it definitely took a long time, or at least it feels that way, to get to a better mindset to where I am a lot more positive.
Awesome. Going up. More
Yeah.
positive. Emily?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Taylor and Aspen both just said, so I won't elaborate too much on it. But I just think it all comes in waves. Like, yes, like we've all matured and grown up and are able to kind of process our emotions, hopefully a little better than when I compare myself to when I was 12 years old. But I think like the one thing that just like keeps coming back is like the thing that's really kept me stable mentally is just like the love for what I do. Like I truly love wheelchair basketball. I love disability advocacy. I love like public speaking about it and sharing my story. And I think that came from the confidence that like the sport gave me. It doesn't necessarily have to be sport for somebody. It's just, something you embrace and love. And, that's really kept me in a great headspace and mindset. So I'm very grateful. And I always try and stay positive, even when it's hard.
Yeah. Incredible. What's the most surprising thing that you guys have learned about yourselves? Is there anything like you surprised yourself? And you're like, wow, I can't believe I did that. Or you just
I
you
mean,
go into it knowing you're gonna do everything, kill it.
the first thing that just came to my mind, and I'm sure Aspen and Taylor can relate, but just like the ability to just like talk through the hard things that you've been through. I never thought I would get to a space where I could talk about on a podcast, like, hey, this was tough. We got through it. Like, I mean, when I was a young girl going through this, I never would have talked about anything that was happening to me. So getting to that point is just like so shocking, but also so happy about it.
So why do you think you have become that person? Like, is it just putting yourself out there more and more, and you just get more
Mhm.
comfortable with it, pretty much?
Yeah, I think just being comfortable in your own skin and just instead of hiding, what makes you different, just embracing it. And I think, that comes with age and maturity, but it also just comes with changing your mindset.
Very cool.
Mhm.
Either of you, Aspen, Taylor, or Taylor, actually, right?
Um, I mean, I feel like I've probably learned a lot of things about myself, but I don't feel like there's one that like super
Shocks you.
sticks out. Yeah, like it's kind
Yeah.
of all been, and maybe that's like, I feel like it's when you're talking like us, like someone like Aspen and Emily, where it was more of like a sudden life altering event. Like there was kind of a before and then an after versus like I've never known anything different. I've always just kind of like slowly adapted to whatever my environment was. And so sometimes that's actually like disconnected me from my body and brain because I'm like having to like adjust before my brain is like fully comprehending what's going on. And so that's like actually something I've had to work a lot in therapy is like reconnecting with whatever my body is feeling, which I'm sure they experience on some level as well. Like that's like a very like common, chronic illness thing. It's like a survival mechanism. But yeah, I think just like it sounds a little bit cliche, but like just like the fact that we keep going and survive, like we get up every day and then we keep showing up and we keep seeing people and like contributing to society, I feel like is a whole like feat in itself. And that sounds like really just like, well, yeah, obviously, but there are a lot of times in our lives where, like Aspen was saying, like you genuinely don't think that it's worth to get to the next day. Like it can be really, really difficult and hard. So just being able to like get up and keep going is a huge thing.
Yeah, so nothing that really shocks you that you do things and you kind of expect yourself to get through it.
Basically, yeah. And
Yeah.
I also never really expect like that to be recognized by people. So whenever someone does say like, "Wow, I'm sure that's like really hard and you've been through a lot," like I'm like, "How do you keep going?" And it kind of like takes me aback and I'm like, "Wait a second. You actually like recognize that, life is hard for someone like in a body like this." So it's nice to kind of get like the little bit of recognition for like how tough it can be to keep going, but it also is like, wait a second, someone else is like acknowledging this thing that I experience on the daily.
Yeah, it feels good. Aspen.
I kind of agree. I don't really feel like there has been one thing that I've just been like, oh, that's
I can't believe I did that. Like for me, like this elliptical, like doing this for like 40 minutes is like insane. And I get off and like I can't believe I just did that. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking about here. Something like that.
I don't know, it's so hard. I think it's just like I've realized that I am so much stronger than I thought I was. And so there are a lot of things that I do that a lot of people would be like, oh, wow, you did that and you're in a wheelchair. Like, I just shared a video about getting in a hammock and people are like, oh, I would never try that. I'm like, it's just something so simple. But then it's like, yeah, it was a lot harder for me. Or I just spent a week camping and a lot of people don't think of wheelchair users going camping in a tent. And I was determined to do it. But I think there are just so many things that we go through that make us realize like we are just strong and capable human beings, even when we don't feel like it or don't want to be strong. I think we have to be a lot stronger than we want to be a lot of time, but if if you have that mindset of no, like I have to get through this no matter what, then that's the choice you make and you just push through whether it's hard or not. So I think I've just realized that I am a lot stronger than I thought I was.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'll take that. Uh, Beautiful. What do your daily routines look like at this point? Day in the life, average day. Can you walk us through? Anyone who wants to go first?
I can go.
Okay.
I recently just moved across the country and started a full-time job. So this is my first full-time job that I've ever had. I never thought that I would be able to have a full-time job being chronically ill and disabled. But I do. And so my day-to-day routine, um, I mean, sleep, I struggle with sleep. So hopefully I get enough sleep to get me through the day, but I usually do have a lot of fatigue throughout the day and I'm really tired. So kind of just get myself up and to work. And, I work from 8, like I work 8 hours every day. So a lot of that time, I'm also kind of managing my symptoms and pain as I go throughout the day. So that can look like using different tools or adaptive like aids to get through the day. So I guess it just depends on what I'm doing, but I use mobility aids. I have a cane, rollator, and wheelchair. Um, I, have creams and medications and just different like adaptive tools like special pens so that my hand doesn't cramp, just like different things like that that you wouldn't necessarily find people using throughout their, regular jobs. And I also work with a lot of other people who have the same condition that I do. So it's really interesting. The conversations that we have day to day is like very chronic illness friendly, and it's very supportive and encouraging and accessible to all of us needing, different tools and devices, which is really great. But by the end of the day, I am exhausted. And so I usually come home and then take a nap if I don't have appointments, either like in the middle of the workday or after work. So like today before, like after work and then before this, I took an hour long nap because I was literally exhausted and couldn't stay awake. So, then my evenings are mostly just spent trying to like recover from the day and then go to bed and then do it again.
Yeah, that's a nine. What about weekends? What do you do for fun?
Um, I have to balance recovering from the week and doing
Yeah.
something fun. So usually Saturdays I do, one fun activity. Like I like to go thrifting, or because we just moved to a new city, we're like exploring everything. So we'll go to a market or like an outdoor. I can't really like hike anymore, so we'll have to find like accessible trails that are like paved or like flat. Um, and or like go explore downtown. And then Sundays are usually, it used to be like our house life reset days, but I by that time am too fatigued and unwell to be able to help contribute very much. So that's where my husband picks up a lot of the extra stuff that I was typically kind of doing before. So Sundays I kind of spend recovering, and then he is like helping take care of the house and doing laundry and dishes and cleaning and all of that.
It's a good guy. There you
Yes.
go. Aspen.
My days, weeks, months, they vary greatly. I stay very busy, but I obviously also have to manage all my symptoms and all of my appointments. Some days I'm stuck in bed all day, whether that's from pain or seizures, memory loss, fatigue. Um, and some days I have 5 appointments. A lot of the time I'm working on social media if I'm stuck in bed. Social media is my full-time job just because I'm unable to work a normal job, I guess, due to mostly my seizures, pain, and inability to drive. But I travel when I can. I love to travel. I try to do it even when I'm not feeling great, just because I feel like it's what keeps me going. Like travel is my whole heart, and if I can find a way to do it full time one day, I will. I just love to see new places, so I try to get out and explore when I can, but people don't see a lot of that on social media, but I do spend a lot of time in bed resting and recovering because having fun is great, but when you're chronically ill and you deal with so many debilitating symptoms and illnesses, like if if you don't make the time to take a break, then your body's going to make you take that break whether you want it or not. And so um yeah, mostly appointments, resting, and traveling when I can.
Awesome. Awesome. Emily.
Yeah, so I am training for LA 2028. So it basically has already started 4 years in advance. So my day to day is usually I wake up. I'm also a program director for WASA, which is Wisconsin Adaptive Sports Association. So I'm in charge of our 11 adaptive sports that we run. So I'll work from home usually in the morning. During lunch, I'll go lift or get a cardio session in. And then sometimes we have events for Wausau or just work from home for the afternoon. And then every night I usually scrimmage with our local teams here for basketball. So it's lots of sports, lots of
That's 7
basketball.
days a week you're scrimmaging?
Mostly.
Wow.
I'll do, no, I don't. Yeah, almost set. Right now it was 7. We just had our tournament in Bogota, Colombia. So this summer it's been 7 days a week. Now I'm giving myself a little bit of a break.
Are you about to play after you get off here?
No, not tonight.
Okay.
No, yeah, not tonight. This is my like week break because we just got back 2 days ago. So
awesome. Very different lives. Everyone's doing something different. Do you guys ever think about legacy and like, do you think the legacy you want to leave behind, stuff like that? You ever have those thoughts? Anyone?
I think about it a little bit. Not necessarily wanting to just be this big face, but more so just making sure the people that I met, I left a good impression on. I I just I never want to be known for anything negative. I would just rather be like the kind person that someone even remotely remembers just having a simple conversation with, or maybe that I made them smile. Um, I've always had like a not knowing like what I want out of life. I've always struggled with that. And so I think just wanting to be the good in the world, to create good, but also surround myself with that. And I just hope that whatever I leave behind is just positive or just made someone smile.
Awesome. Taylor, what do you think about legacy?
I think I've only really ever thought about it in my future kind of career and what I'm gonna do as like a provider for other patients, and hope that like the legacy would be like the care that I provide patients, or like even now in my role, like just contributing to the research and knowledge of kind of this misunderstood disease. Like I just hope that whatever kind of position and whatever I'm contributing at the time is actually meaningful and does do some good for the current and future kind of patients and community.
Yeah, like how you want to help the next generation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Emily.
Yeah, I think something that kind of clicks with me is when I was going through cancer, that social media wasn't really a thing. Instagram was like just getting started. So there's nobody I could really look up to or like relate to, and you couldn't really reach out to people as easily. So I think using social media again, like what Aspen said, like for the positive, kind of being somebody in a similar situation can look up to, if I can portray that in any way and just be a voice out there. That's kind of my goal. And then, being good at my sport would be awesome. Just leave like physical legacy of, greatness in, the Paralympic world would be awesome. So hopefully we'll get a gold medal in LA and we can accomplish that.
The all-time scoring leader.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, there we go. Legacy. How do you guys define success? And has that definition changed over the years?
I'd say it kind of depends on what, we're talking about. I think, you can make a goal for just about anything. It can be small, it can be significant. And that's kind of, how I live my life, how I train, how my job works is like I'll just constantly be making little goals. And if I complete those, I take that as a success. And it can literally be as much as like waking up and just being productive. And it can be as big as, winning a gold medal. So I think that's just how I try and stay successful at the end of the day.
So you don't have like a blanket definition if someone said define success?
Nope.
Beautiful. There you go.
I think I would like agree with what Emily said about like sometimes success, like in order to continue to like motivate yourself and feel good about like what you're doing while, life and chronic illness ebb and flows, like your definition of success or like what you are achieving for success kind of does have to change because sometimes success that day is just that you like brush your teeth, and other days it's like Emily said, winning a gold medal and like for her family. Um, so yeah, I think just like achieving whatever your capacity is, like achieving whatever is like capable of you that day, or that time frame, like what however you want to measure it, just whatever you are actually capable of, like reaching that and achieving that, but also like being proud and kind of happy like with yourself at doing that.
Interesting. Aspen, sorry.
I definitely agree with that. I think success looks different for every person, but it also looks different every single day because especially when being a part of the chronic community, we go through so many ups and downs that some days, like Taylor said, success is just brushing your teeth or getting a shower in or eating 3 meals. And then there's some days where you can do more, where that maybe that's an accessible hike or going for a swim and getting exercise in. Like it really varies depending on each day. And I know my symptoms are never consistent and ever changing. And so I kind of have to base each day off of how I wake up feeling and just go from there.
So you reevaluate every day, like I'm sure you don't actually write like my goal for today is to brush my teeth, but like you kind of wake up and you're like, all right, I feel pretty good, and you kind of know your limitations for the day.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I definitely keep a to-do list, but my to-do list isn't necessarily for a single day, just because I know there's plenty of days where I'll wake up and won't be able to get a single thing done on that list. And if I considered finishing that list successful, I would feel like a failure because there are so many days where I can't get anything done, and then there are multiple days a week or a month where I can get so many of those things off the list, and it varies every single day.
Yeah, it's awesome. Um, anyone else? Did everyone went, right? Okay, cool. I have one more question here, and then we always let everyone else ask a few questions if anyone has anyone that's watching. So we'll go to that. But is there anything now, maybe they're little things, maybe they're big things that you appreciate that you maybe took for granted before? Anyone?
I think it's a little strange because like I think my health, like I am in a better spot than I was a few years ago, but maybe from the outside looking in, you wouldn't necessarily think that because I do use more like visible mobility aids, and I do have like medical devices that I didn't have a few years ago. And so I think just like the ability for my body to like adapt as I go. And now I'm like, how did you phrase the question? I'm sorry. What was it?
Any like little things that you appreciate now that I guess they could be big things too that you used to take for granted?
Okay, yeah. I think that I lost my train of thought, so somebody else should go.
We'll come right back. Don't worry.
Oh my gosh,
Aspen,
Taylor's so relatable.
Emily?
I've done that so many times before. I think just one thing, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand with my story, but just the ability to like kind of belong and just like with a disability, it unfortunately kind of ostracize you from a lot of social things. It ostracizes you from like being able to participate in just a lot of physical, like it can be sports, it can be activities. And I think, our society has done a lot better job of making things more adaptable and inclusive. But at the same time, there are still so many things that like I can't do. And I'm also dating somebody who is a wheelchair user. So like when we go on trips, like we can't, stay at the same places others can stay. And it's just, there's so much that still needs to happen. So I definitely don't take accessibility for granted, but it definitely can improve.
As can all things, right?
Yes.
Aspen.
I honestly just appreciate the days where I feel more healthy than others because I feel like it's so easy to get absorbed and stuck in a negative mindset when you're constantly feeling so horrible. And then you see people and they're like, "Oh, you look so great," or "You look like you're feeling so well," but they don't understand like you just feel horrible. And so I think it's easy for a lot of people to take a healthy body for granted. And so I have just learned to really appreciate the days where I feel like I can do a little more than the days where I'm stuck in bed.
Yeah, Al is saying he can relate. Al, I think you have a few questions, right? I could bring you in now. So this guy,
Yeah,
this is Al. He's been on our show a few times.
yeah.
There
I've
he
been.
is.
Hi, everyone.
What's
Yeah,
up, Al?
Hi.
I have some few questions. Um, I've been I've been going through a lot mentally and neurologically, and right now I have these. And thank you, Ed, for your message about what I donated for you guys. Thank you, Ed. Yeah. Um, I've been going through some stuff neurologically, and I've been getting like these brain zaps and stuff like that. I just did my partial program today, and we talked about how to handle depression and staying in the moment. And I deal with physical illnesses too. Like I get they thought it was MS. It's not MS. I have to get genetic testing done. It's still a mystery. I did try the Mayo Clinic as Aspen suggested, but they denied me, unfortunately. They didn't have the right doctor. But besides, I do have some questions for you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Al.
How do you guys deal with, first I'll start off with Aspen. How do you deal with depression and stuff? Because I'm also getting a service dog too. I'm also getting a service dog too. And I think I messaged you, I think I emailed you. I don't know if you got my email.
I'm not sure that I did. Um, but I can say when it comes to depression, depression looks different for everyone. And I'm also very excited for you for getting a service dog because I know just how much JoJo has changed my life. So I hope you have that same experience. But when it comes to depression, I personally am in therapy. But I also always lead with finding your support system and finding your community. I think it's really important to find people that you can trust, who you can talk to, who you can just be yourself
Yeah,
with,
it's,
and
yeah,
and then just being out in nature if that's something that makes you happy. But really it's finding your people and then finding the things that make you happy, even
what,
when it is really hard.
what's making me happy now is the partial program I'm doing. I enjoy going there. Has anybody ever did a part? I don't know if anybody knows what a partial program is. Partial pro. It's
No,
an
what's
out.
that?
It's an outpatient. See, when people go into inpatient, sometimes there's like outpatient partial program. Like they do group therapy. Right now, like today we were talking about CBT and DBT and how and our worries and how sometimes we get ourselves sick in our minds. We think we're ill, and then it comes out in our bodies.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
power of placebo kind of, right? Is that what you're talking
yeah,
about kind of, right?
yeah, yeah. And I also learned, and and Emily, how do you? I know you had cancer, and that's really scary. How did you bounce back from it? I know dealing with cancer is really scary and hard. How did you bounce back from it?
It definitely took time. I would say the couple years after, I mean, dealing with the physical cancer was horrible, but at the same time, like that full year was basically just like focusing on your physical health. So you couldn't really like grasp, like even trying to like bounce back. All you could focus on was in the now, what was happening. But kind of the recovery after was the hardest part, just because you're a totally new person, and just went through like a traumatizing year. And I think similar to what Aspen said, like the support system and leaning on the people you love are what got me through.
Yeah,
Um, and then just
yeah.
like finding something you're passionate about and that you love. I think,
For me, not sorry for cutting you off, but
oh no, you're totally
for
fine.
me it's kind of tough because I also have a sick. I also have a my mom's also ill,
Hmm.
so you know she has chronic health conditions. So
Hmm.
my stress is I worry about her,
Gotcha.
and
Jeez.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So and I also have a rare genetic syndrome. I forgot her name. That's the last one on this podcast.
Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, I also have a rare genetic syndrome, so I can relate to you. I was diagnosed at 11 years old with PHP type 1A. Nobody knew exactly what was wrong. Now they're trying to figure out if I have another rare genetic syndrome going on in my body with my lesions in my brain. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, you're gonna
But
get
my
some test results soon, right, Al?
yeah, me and my parents have to do this sequence genome panel stuff done to see. Yeah,
Yeah, let us know what happens. We'll do another
yeah,
roundtable with you.
yeah. Yeah. I when I emailed you, Ashburn, did I email? Was that your work email, or
We
did
could
you get
talk.
it?
How about after the podcast? We'll connect you guys, Al.
All right, thank you.
You have any more questions before we go? We're gonna end it now.
Yeah. How did you, Taylor? How did I know you have a rare genetic syndrome? Like I have a rare genetic syndrome. Um, did people treat you differently when you were first diagnosed with it? Well, you were born with it, or you weren't born with it?
I was born with it, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was 19 years old.
I wasn't. Yeah. So how did they treat? Did people treat you different? See, when I found out, it was just it was a weird incident. An endocrinologist walked in and diagnosed me on the spot.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either because it sounds like you weren't necessarily expecting it. I wasn't either, and I think people treated me differently because I also saw myself a little bit differently. I finally had an explanation for why I was experiencing all these things that I was my entire life and why I did feel different from other people. And so
Hmm.
it's more so that I finally had an explanation to what I was feeling. And so then when I would tell other people that it finally had a name, then um it wasn't necessarily in a good or a bad way, but they did treat me a little bit differently because it was easier to understand kind of what was happening or why I was experiencing the things that I was.
That's what I'm trying to figure out with my new if I have a new genetic syndrome. I don't have MS, which is a great thing, but I'm still trying to figure out why I get these symptoms.
Yeah, it's a hard journey. I've actually had a few rare diseases or have a few rare diseases and I've
And
had
don't you
to
feel and don't you feel like doctors, well, you go to doctor to doctor, but then you don't get an answer, and you get frustrated.
Yep, I just went to a doctor. It was like the fifth doctor I've been to, and I've traveled multiple states. And I was like, please help me with this, rare thing. And they basically said, I've never seen that before, and so I can't help you. So it's really frustrating.
Yeah, but thank you guys for your advice, and I look forward to speaking to Aspen after the podcast.
Thank you, Al. Thanks. We always love hearing from you.
Thank you, Joe.
Everyone,
Tell Vicky I said hi.
I will. I'll tell Vika. She's out right now, but I'll let her know. Everyone, thank you so much. First of all, thanks again for coming on, taking the time to do this podcast, and getting your story out there. We'll definitely talk to you soon. If anyone wants to see and listen to the detailed interviews of each person on the panel today, please go back and look for their story. You'll get a lot more information than what you got today. And then please, everyone, if you want, go to the link in the bio and you'll see our Zephy account where you can donate to the nonprofit so we can help share more stories for people all around the world. Thank you again, and we will see you guys next week.